Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, wherever we happen to be. My name is Brian Engelman. This is Blake Walley, and he is rocking a Colonel Sanders shirt.
Oh, would you stop? Really? You're going to
Hold the
compare
shirt up. Just real
Dr.
quick.
Ron Paul deserves better than to be compared.
Can you hold it up like just a little so it can match the height of?
Okay,
There
Dr.
we go.
Ron Paul, my
I
belief in
mean-
freedom, Ron Paul. Hey, does that look like KFC Colonel Sanders? No, it doesn't.
The logos look similar. Thick.
No beard. Ron Paul does not wear glasses. There
right.
is a mild resemblance.
Question of the day. Does
Stop.
the KFC guy look like?
No, come on. That's disrespectful to the legacy of Ron Paul.
I digress. Thank you for joining us today. No, but it was the first thing that jumped to my mind. What can I say?
know. You have a thought and you let it pass. Thought like, oh, I just have to say it because I thought it. No, you can just let it pass and go to the next thought. That's all.
I don't know how to do that.
I know you don't. All right.
I am not wired that way. It is Thursday, August 15, 2024. Thank you for joining us here on the New American Media. This is the Agree to Disagree show. We're doing this because the old American media has failed you. You can follow Blake. He's on X at TV's Blake Walley and thenextlevelnews.com. No, I know they don't look the same. It's just like the style. Like it was a very similar. And my brain went there and I had to show you. So speaking of the things I have to show you and tell you about today, we're going to ask if you import the third world, will you become the third world? We're also going to ask if the Dems plan to jail Donald Trump since the assassination attempt failed. Also, does Kamala Harris deserve respect for her accomplishments? Does CNN deserve respect for their commitment to objectivity? And would it Kamala Harris? See, because I couldn't even type that one out, Blake, because it's going to get flagged by the algorithm.
What's that?
Double hockey sticks. Would it Kamala Harris to hold a lone press conference? I'll let the
I
other.
was quoting Jim Acosta directly.
I know.
Right.
Oh, I know. But even if I type it out and if I say it, it's going to get flagged because that's how stupid it was. I remember covering.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But why is Kamala not having a press conference? This is insanity. 26 days, I think, without any any opportunity to push back on the person that just staged a coup against the sitting president, who has 0 people who have elected her as a delegate or in the primaries, rather. So anyway, why isn't she not holding press conferences? We're also going to ask about perhaps the biggest story in the country. Should Americans be worried about the Social Security hack? You know, those numbers we're all supposed to use and keep private? There's no number anymore. They're gone. So what comes next? Maybe a new number. Maybe you put it underneath your skin and it's a
chain NFT. Oh, I don't know.
666 mark of the beast. You got to wear it on your forehead. Scan your code.
Microchips, baby. That's where it's at.
Also, we're going to ask if the truth gets in the way of getting things done. I know that was something very interesting that I found earlier, and Blake took a shine to that one. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Blake, you have a show coming up tonight. Tell people about it. Oh, wait, that was
Thursday, Brian. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so off. Tell them about the show you did on Tuesday and what you're doing next Tuesday. Promote that show.
Oh, Toxically Masculine Tuesday. Yeah, you can find it on the archive at thenextlevelnews.com with me and Mike Barra and Dr. Brooks Agnew and Trail Boss Steve Doran. Covered, yes, some of the hardcore news of the day.
Let me ask about the top stories. Is there any new stuff coming out about the Trump assassination attempt? I'm seeing a lot of stuff online, and when I do my top of the news roundup here, just highlighting a couple things rapid fire, I'm sure I'll touch on a couple. But is there a latest consensus of how many shooters there were and anything? Because I know that show likes to really dig deep and try to find some sources and peel back the layer of what's really happening.
I think it appears that there was a second shooter, but not. We've kind of ruled out a third. But yeah, still a lot of controversy there, and they're still digging in and trying to keep the story alive. So I think that was one of the topics we were mentioning, is because there was the big freak out over Elon Musk and Donald Trump having that Twitter X Spaces big event.
Yeah,
big leftist meltdown. But yeah, they talked about that, and that was interesting to keep that going, and you could have an unfiltered conversation about it because you're not going to hear about that on leftist MSM. So it's good for people to because they are going to tune into it because it is newsworthy. They pretend like, oh, this is just stupid, but it's relevant. Their heads were exploding all night. It was glorious. They couldn't talk about substance. It was just, oh, Donald Trump sounds like he's got some dental work. He's got a lisp. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all been thoroughly debunked. It was a compression issue.
Right. We didn't know that at the time, but even so, does that take anything away from the message that they were talking about? No, it's just because they don't have anything else to talk. They can't refute anything that's being said. So they're just going to talk about stupid piddly stuff.
Speaking about things that are said, thank you to Kenneth. Dropping comments there, dropping jokes in real time. Always appreciate Kenneth being a part of the show. And if you want to leave your comments, please do so, whether you're on X. Make sure you're following us, the New American Media, at American_media_ at American_media_ on X, or if you're watching us on Facebook, or probably YouTube, youtube.com/at the New American Media. Subscribe to that and Rumble as well. That was a huge interview. And that was something we wrapped our show maybe an hour before that one popped off. And I've seen a lot of varying numbers, but either way, a ton of people tuned into that conversation. You know, these are like real Bruce Wayne style people with, you know, they have the world by their fingertips. They have all the worldly riches you could imagine, but like they're trying to give something back to humanity. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, Blake.
You know, that almost made my stack. It was Kevin O'Leary comparing Elon to modern day Bruce Wayne. It's modern day Batman. It's actually kind of an interesting comparison. So
it is.
Meant a lot of stuff. He's smart. He has got the personality. I don't know if he, is a vigilante fighter, but, he has offered to fight a couple of prominent people, including Mark Zuckerberg and was it Maduro of Venezuela. So maybe he does.
That is wild. I mean, we are living in strange times indeed. Let me direct you over here, Blake. Let's do a brief lightning round through some of the stories that did not make our stack today on our X feed at American_media_. Of course, check out our interview with Gateway Pundit's Jim Hoft when we were at the Republican convention, and keep your eyes peeled for next week. We may be somewhere doing something live and in person. You will find out, of course.
And there's nothing less brief than a brief lightning round from Brian Engelman.
Okay, that's sort of fair, but I'll be fast. I have it in my heart to go a little faster. Blake, they're saying here that Trump campaign has brought back Corey Lewandowski, who was Trump's 2016 campaign manager. People like Nick Sortor are saying this is huge news. Corey was a key reason why Trump trounced Hillary in 2016, and he doesn't put up with Rhino BS. And Corey's main saying was, "Let Trump be Trump." How do you feel about this one? Change in strategy, coaching.
I don't know enough about Lewandowski to say anything. I know he was a controversial figure, but I would be in favor of that because I know he's got a lot of bad people around him, and that's been one of the controversy. I've seen that from multiple people, including Mike Cernovich, Nick Fuentes, people I like, people I don't like, but people care about the direction of this country and that Trump have good people around him. And they said toward the end of his administration the first time that he was surrounded by people that he could not trust. And I don't know why that is. And this time we don't have time to fuck around. So he better get it right and have the right people there.
Well, that's what Corey just put out here. He goes, "How could anyone not be excited to help elect this man? I've been with President Trump since day one, worked for him in 16 and 20, and I'm excited to be back on the campaign team to help deliver victory in 24. 81 days left, Blake. Let Trump be Trump. Get off the couch and join us. Fight, fight, fight." I will say, though, letting Trump be Trump can sometimes get him in trouble. I think as the Democrats have learned, you keep Biden and you keep Harris in the basement. Like, don't let them overtalk their way into controversy. Trump, if you give him enough time, people will take his stuff out of context. Give him less ammunition. Take some of that kindling off of the fire. So I don't know, Blake. I'm a little torn on this one. I feel like the thing that could help Trump is by being less Trumpy.
Maybe you got to keep him fresh and maybe not do too many campaign stops. But that's up to his people around him, and he's got to listen to those guys. Oh, there you go. There he is, Nick Fuentes, your favorite.
My favorite. I don't even know who this dude is.
You don't know who he is?
Well,
All right.
I'm aware that he exists. I'm aware that people hate him. I'm aware that he's called bad things, and I don't know much about him. But he says he's supporting him because of no immigration, no foreign wars, and no free trade. That's why he supported him in 2016. But yeah, I don't know. Why is he my favorite? I don't even know the guy.
I was just kidding. No, I know he's a controversial neo-Nazi. He's a sharp guy, but I mean, he's still like a 25-year-old. I'm surprised he's that influential as he is. But people really make an uproar about him. But
of course,
whatever.
Every day here, moving on, there is new video coming out with President Trump, and people are saying, it just kind of seems like they're uncoordinated and coordinated. They look awfully alert and somewhat confused. If there's no known threat, they should be at attentive ease. And other people are saying, who's filming this? It's taken directly from exactly where the shooter was. And those three guys are looking directly at where the shooter was. Just all these videos coming out, Blake, have you seen anything super interesting or just more of the jury's out on this? I've seen more and more that there's a different person that got taken out, and it wasn't the patsy. Any thoughts on that?
Well, one of the interesting videos I think I saw was last week, Jesse Waters. They were saying that the guy running the Secret Service now, who's taking over, basically, they've admitted that their threat assessment people were taken off the job. So it appears that they all wanted this to happen. It also appears like one of the local cops actually interfered with the shooter and kind of distracted him long enough. Maybe that threw him off a little bit, but even just indirectly. So maybe the cop was a hero. I mean, some people say he should have tried to shoot the guy if he had that chance because he was kind of looking up on the roof and then ran away. But that could have been enough to throw the shooter off.
I think what Trump said that I learned during the Musk conversation, and it wasn't a debate, it wasn't an interview, it was just a conversation, and I appreciate that. He said that the guy that climbed up there, the shooter looked at him, and he had both of his hands holding up, and he couldn't grab a firearm to take him out. And when the shooter saw him, he turned and aimed at the guy, and he dropped off of the building, and he said he badly hurt his arm. So maybe he broke his wrist or broke his arm or something when he fell. Maybe it was 2 stories. I'd never heard that until I believe it was President Trump said something about that. So
yeah, his leg or something. Yeah, ankle.
Maybe it was his leg. Yeah, whatever the case is. That was different information that I was fairly unaware of. Yeah, this is out here. Anna Paulina Luna. She's making headlines, and I said, or the New American Media here, some people might want to vote against Anna Paulina Luna because of this video, while others are just going to keep supporting her and vote harder for her in the next election. Blake, would you vote harder for her in the next election?
3 words: tropical sex vacation. No, I did tweet that out, so just wanted to clarify that. All right. Well, someone was asking about. Let me pull that tweet up real quick. Since we're on the subject, real quick. Yeah. Here we go. All right.
I love confident people in 2024. People who take care of themselves, be proud of who they are. The Democrats keep pushing like, well, if you have a mental illness, you need to chop your body apart and pretend you're other things instead of like working with them to say, we love you. You're loved as you are. It's okay to be you. And I think, it's great. It's okay for them to be them. But I would like to see maybe an Olympics, Blake, where now the Democrats have to go. So this will be like gymnastics in the Olympics. You get out of 10, a 9.9, you hold up a card. All right, Democrats, your turn. Who do you put up? And then we get to vote. And then you kind of go back and forth, Republicans, Democrats, to the point where you're down to like RFK Jr. versus Barney Frank. Maybe you have a wild card round where you let somebody in like an RFK who's on the outside. But wouldn't it be interesting to put up like the hottest political minds against each other in a hot or not competition? Remember, that's how Facebook was.
I don't know about that one. It's interesting. I don't know if that would fly or not. But yes, it was Ian Miles Chong who said, what are your thoughts on Representative Anna Paulina Luna? That's exactly what I wrote. Tropical sex vacation. Those are my thoughts.
Well, tell us what you're really thinking, Blake.
Well, it's unfiltered. All right.
All right.
Very nice. Okay.
Let me.
I approve. Okay.
Blake is a fan. Yeah. I like Anna Paulina for her mind. I really do. She's been great.
So she said, Brian, I really want to, I have this cruise and I have an extra ticket. Just be you and me. Can't tell anybody.
Yeah, I think that's what
You
everybody
know.
said. I think that's what everybody was promised when they went to Epstein Island. I'm pretty sure that's how that begins, right? Yeah, Kenneth, exactly. A Democrat versus Republican bikini contest. Blake, if you were in charge of the Democrats and you had to put up one bikini person to match, is there anybody on the left you would think of?
AOC, easy. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's dumb as hell, dumb as a box of rocks, but she's gorgeous.
Okay, so AOC, and all right, who would
past that? I don't know.
Next?
And that's not even disrespectful. I'm not actually off the top of my head. I don't know.
The Republicans have Lauren Boebert.
We're going off the rails on this lightning round already. Yeah, I figured that. All right.
Yeah, you're the one that went to a second video there. Thank you very much.
Luna. What do we got? Nancy Mace. And who else? Yeah, Boebert's cute. Yeah.
And really, RFK Jr. he might win the whole thing.
But come on, we're talking about like a handful of people I'd want to see in a bikini that are in Congress.
Of course. Yeah. And not too many. All right, let me switch back over. Let me grab the microphone here from you. Wait, back to me. Hold on. How do we get rid of her? Not that I want to get rid of her, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, lightning round continues here. Blake, illegals are joining a violent wolf pack gang in New York City to target New Yorkers. They're swarming and they're attacking people. They're stealing everything they can. This is in America. This is what Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Barack Hussein Obama have done. What say you to the state of affairs in the country, the safety, and anyone who's considering voting Democrat right now?
Yeah, this seems to be what they are importing. I mean, I'm sure they don't. These are embarrassing. They don't want this information getting out, but people need to be aware of this. This is the risk they took by allowing this problem to fester, and it's most likely only going to get worse.
Yeah, we got gangs, we have flash mobs, we have riots, we have attacks, we have all sorts of bad stuff happening. New Yorkers are getting targeted.
Yeah, no fear. What are they worried they're going to get deported? I mean, no, they're getting the red carpet treatment. Come on in.
Yeah, you're right. It's something you always need to consider if you need to flee a blue city, flee a blue state.
Yeah, look at England.
Look at England. What has happened in England, Blake?
I'm sure I have. France, right?
What did you say?
France too. Yeah, I mean, it's like they're getting the preferential treatment over the native citizens. It's unbelievable.
Right. All right. Well, I think I have something in there about that. I'll keep rolling here, moving fast. Blake, this is from Breitbart. It says housing supply booms in Argentina since Javier Milei has cut the rent control law. Scott Adams says elect an economist, get nice things. What say you?
I mean, the jury's still out, but it seems good. I want to, believe that he's there for the right reason. Javier Milei. Yeah, I think we could turn things around in this country too, if we could, get rid of some of this government spending, get rid of some of these government programs, reel in the Fed, make America great again, bring prosperity back. So I don't know. Otherwise, it's looking pretty grim for this next generation and trying to get into affordable housing.
Oh yeah, it's tough. If you can just get in and get something, that's my biggest recommendation right now. Although don't ever take my financial advice from anyone. Yeah, just something to just stake a claim and try to ride it out, because it is a wonky market out there. That is for damn sure. Okay, bouncing around. This one is Nick Sorter again. Puts good stuff out. You should follow him. Biden confirming that Kamala Harris directly tied to the regime's disastrous economic record. Let's hear this right quick.
How much does it bother you that Vice President Harris might soon, for political reasons, start to distance herself from your economic?
She's not going to.
You don't think she's going to, Mr. President?
So he's convinced that she's not going to try to distance herself from the Biden economic record, Blake. That's all the rumor, that she's going to have to go rogue and really throw Biden under the bus. Biden says she's not going to do that. What would you guess?
I'm going to guess she's not going to do it either. I don't know if I would think that would hurt her. Because if she's going to pretend like she had this whole other ulterior agenda, alternative agenda for behind the scenes, ulterior motives, alternative suggestions. I don't know. But either way, she's, it kind of stuck there because she's pretending like she's going to have all these new policies while she's already in office. So what is she doing? Because she's supposed to share the same agenda and vision for the country as Joe. So what does that say about her?
Oh, yeah.
And, for all, they think that this is, going well. I mean, it's kind of, they got a boost off of the, the COVID thing where businesses coming back. So they can make the numbers look okay that look at all the jobs. I mean, the inflation sucks. There's problems, but I mean, like the market crashed last week, but now it seems to be higher than ever. So, who's to say? It's all manipulated. But as long as it looks strong, she's going to run with it. But I mean, if the market continued to melt down after that disastrous Monday, then maybe she would be coming up with something else. But we don't know. We won't know her agenda till probably next week.
Good point. Talking about weird things happening. We were talking about England and France. This is also out in Spain. Just all sorts of bad stuff happening all across Europe. Gangs and attacks and robberies. The crime is completely out of control. Please be aware. Oh, as I scroll here, this is our Patreon page. It's linked. Let me pin this. I'll pin this to the profile. If you wanted to contribute to the New American Media, please do so. Also, if you want to contribute to Blake, he's on Cash App, $Blake W99. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, this Stewart guy said, leave her alone. Who cares about bikini pictures? She's human also. Back to Anna Paulina Luna. Once again, want to make sure you get that. But we responded by saying, hey, if you misunderstood, let us clarify. Kudos to her. In 2024, with so many people in terrible shape, it's awesome to see a role model who takes care of themselves, and they're happy to be themselves. It's the Democrats who shriek at healthy, successful people, not us. Smiley sign. So there we have it. Blake, this one is Dan Bongino going off. He has a lot of inside scoop working in the Secret Service, of course, and the shows that he does. He says there's a lot of internal sabotage that's meant to destroy Trump and his campaign. They're on the getting paid to doom post about Donald Trump. They're saying specifically Kellyanne Conway and her aligned people. They're leaking fake stories to the media and saying that she's actively working to destroy the Trump-Vance ticket on behalf of Victor Pinchuk through the Pinchuk Foundation, representing his interests in Ukraine. And she's on retainer for $50,000 a month until November. Blake, if you're hearing that for the first time, any thoughts on Kellyanne Conway or the Bongino accusations? That's pretty huge to have a wolf in sheep's clothing in your campaign.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I don't know about Kellyanne Conway. I seem to like her. Her husband's a fucking idiot, George Conway, so I don't trust him. He needs to stay out of it. But maybe that's good. They have Corey Lewandowski, and he's going to come in there and clean house and get rid of all of these traitors from within so they don't sabotage the campaign.
Yeah. Let Trump be Trump. Those are the marching orders. Now back to Anna Paulina Luna. She seems to be taking over the entire feed. She reposted, I just obtained a photo that was taken by an individual at the rally in Pennsylvania of crooks, allegedly, I'll put air quotes around crooks, walking around the building before the assassination attempt with the gun that was used to shoot President Trump. This photo has been submitted to law enforcement in Pennsylvania. To my knowledge, this photo has not been released until now. Right there, Blake, is that surprising to you? Just wide open like that? This wasn't like he got in the sewer system and crawled through and got up through a duct and nobody ever saw him. It was just wide open, absolutely wide open.
He was standing on top of the building where there were police in there. And yeah, they said it was sloped, and everything about it is something is wrong with everything. So this appeared to be a botched assassination attempt. And if it wasn't for Trump just moving his head just at that precise moment, he would be dead right now. And we would be scrambling for, plan B.
I would not even want to like that world. Just the thought of that is brutal. But this is what I'm saying. I like Anna Paulina Luna for Anna Paulina Luna. Just, the other stuff, there she is. Yeah, this was my idea of having a smoke show off. Democrats are next, and they have 24 hours on the clock. So if they go to...
Oh, my God. This is like idiocracy, Brian. We're trying to... Who looks hotter in a bikini?
Yes,
Which
it's
party?
how Facebook
Right.
was created. It was like a hot or not website. So they're gonna go with AOC. Who do the Republicans go with next? We go with Lauren Boebert. Who do the Dems have after her? Ilhan Omar. Like, geez, who's second on deck for the Dems?
Is Ilhan Omar? She's always dressed in way too much attire. She has a very pretty face, but I have no idea what the rest of her body even looks like. Because whatever, for their culture, they're just wearing too much stuff. You never know.
But that was her response today by saying people are giving her grief. They're pulling up old videos. She's like, "Yep." Actually, how does it?
Brian, did you see the Olympics when it was Italy versus Egypt, and the Egyptian girls are like head to toe, like wearing robes and all covered up, and the Italian girls are in their little bikinis? I was like, oh, this is not compatible cultures. So
Yes, yeah, that was something else.
it's like 2024. Oh my god.
Yeah, but she had a line that I was just trying to find here. Just something like, "Yes, that is me, and yes, I am biologically a woman, and I'm proud to be so." There we go. "I'm confirming that I have indeed worn swimsuits, and you can tell I am biologically a woman." #MAGA. Luna wrote on X as the video resurfaced on Monday. So that's kind of reminiscent to Ben Shapiro getting called out for something he said. He goes, "Yes, that is me, and yes, I am me, and yes, I did say that, and I agree with me." So I think that really is the play, Blake. You lean into it and go, "Yep, that is me, and yes, we're 100% right." I just think the days of cowering and feeling embarrassed, those are so antiquated. I think that stuff's all really yesterday's news. I don't think anybody acts that way anymore. I don't think it's a winning strategy, right? Apologizing and cowering.
Yeah, I agree. It's lame.
Okay, Blake, why don't you go ahead and
It's fucking lame, Brian. I'm sick of this shit. All right. No filter. All right.
Why don't you pull up the first story here, because something happened on my screen and I cannot navigate right now. I have to figure this out. So maybe run a stinger and go to our first story.
Okay. Let me see.
Oh, I think I found it. Okay,
Fancy new computer. You're getting.
Dude, I got the full black screen. It was a black blank screen.
You got 1,000 tabs open already.
Yeah, I got a dude. This computer ought to be able to get me up to Mars.
It should handle it, but they shouldn't do that. You need to let it. You got to shut it down. You got to keep just a few tabs that you need. You don't need to have all those windows open. All the programs, all the apps. I mean, it's just right.
All right. So speaking of Anna Paulina Luna, she is the woman of the moment. But here's her speaking and why she's so important on Capitol Hill.
I wouldn't agree with the character.
I don't care if you agree. This is your stuff. Yes or no? Did you communicate with a private entity, the government agency, on a private cloud server? Yes or no?
The question was if I could.
Yes or no? Yeah, I'm on time. Yes or no?
Ma'am, I don't believe I can give you a yes or no.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that you did, and we have proof of it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is joint action between the federal government and a private company to censor and violate the First Amendment. This is also known, and I'm so glad that there's many attorneys on this panel, joint state actors. It's highly illegal. You are all engaged in this action, and I want you to know that you will be all held accountable.
Joint state actors will all be held accountable for their censorship violations of our First Amendment.
Miss Gaddy, are you still on CISA's Cybersecurity Advisory Council? Yes or no? Yes, I am. Okay. For those who've said that this is a pointless hearing, and I just want to let you guys all know, we found that Twitter was indeed communicating with the federal government to censor Americans. I'd like to remind you that this was all in place before January 6th. So to say that these mechanisms weren't in place and to make it about January 6th, I want to let you know that you guys were actually in control of all of the content, and clearly we have proof of that. Now, if you don't think that this is important to your constituents and the American people from those saying that this was a pointless hearing, I suggest you find other jobs. Chairman, I yield my time.
This young, amazing, smart woman, new member of Congress, understands technology. She's got all these documents that are public. And so he says, I don't know what that is. She has his messages on it. That's called nailing someone.
And that's Anna Paulina Luna, Blake. She ain't just a pretty face. She's a badass. I really appreciate having her in government.
Yeah, I agree. That's much more of a turn on with the brains, because as beautiful as AOC is, there's no way I could ever date somebody like her, because I would just have no connection at all.
Yeah, there's no there. A
Right.
big nothing burger intellectually. Okay, wrapping this up here. Some more reports that Trump will be 100% sentenced to prison on September 18th, told that the sentence will be a year. The Marxist judge could change his sentencing at the last minute, but he's definitely sentencing Trump to at least a year. Rikers Island already has a special area and accommodations ready 2 months before the election, Blake. I mean, if you had to bet $100, do you think that's what's going to happen?
Repeat that one again.
That Trump will end up getting a year in prison and he's going to end up having to get kidnapped and go to Rikers Island?
That's a possibility. So yes, that was kind of one of the main stories. Let me pull up something on that. There's a couple of things. Let's see. So yeah, it's preparing. Pull one more time. Double click. There we get it. There it is. Out of the Gateway Pundit, Andrew McCarthy saying prepare for Judge Juan Merchan to sentence Trump to prison on September 18th, 2 months before the election. So they rejected a recusal request for the third time, even though he's obviously biased. So yes, the judge's daughter's platform made tens of millions of dollars from the father's case against Trump. President Trump is still under a partial gag order. Of course, they try to convict him on 34 felony counts after he was accused of paying this porn star hush payments. I mean, blah, blah, blah. We know all of that stuff. But what I also wanted to highlight here, this from Toxically Masculine Tuesday co-host Mike Barra, who says, when we read this, we all thought that the corrupt Judge Merchan meant that the case would be overturned by then, but in reality, it looks as though he thought Trump would be assassinated. So I want to read this because it might not be very easy to read on the screen.
Wow.
This from Judge Merchan. It says the July 11th sentencing date is therefore vacated because they moved it from July to September. So the court's decision will be rendered off calendar on September 6th. And the matter is adjourned to September 18th at 10 o'clock a.m. for the imposition of sentence. And then the highlight here, if such is still necessary or other proceedings. So what does he mean if such is still necessary? And as Mike Barrett points out, did they think that maybe he would no longer be around? It would no longer be necessary.
Wow.
They all knew internally that they were ready to end the Donald Trump show once and for all. Perhaps, maybe this is a coincidence, but if they can't kill him, then I'm sure they will absolutely try to put him there. And I thought I heard something about you have a whole wing of Rikers Island. They're getting ready for accommodating Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is going to be part of their playbook if they think they can get away with it. But they might be just desperate enough. They know that if Trump gets back into office, they might end up in Rikers Island. So it's, us or them, Brian. And it looks like they will make a move if they can. And then it's going to see, okay, what are you guys going to do about it?
Good grief.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
That is very bad. Did you have anything else to add on this particular topic? This is definitely from the stack.
Yeah, Dems plan to jail Donald Trump since assassination failed. Yeah, I mean, well, they planned to jail him. That didn't work. And then they tried to kill him. That didn't work. So they're either going to try to kill him again or try to go to jail. One of they have to keep doing something, or they might just suspend the elections. They'll take us into war, or they'll have some reason why they have to suspend the elections, or there's going to be monkeypox or something like that. So, while we're on that subject, maybe we should, say a quick prayer here for Bert and Ernie, who both contracted monkeypox. Sad.
Oh, man.
And we don't want to see this get any worse, this outbreak. We're going to have to go mail-in balloting again, 2020. It's the next pandemic, the monkeypox pandemic.
They are pushing that now. They're pushing that big time. WHO is out saying stuff. No thanks. Not doing it. Never again. Never ever.
Did you get the monkeypox vaccine, Brian?
Well, you get that every 3 to 6 months, right?
Right, and you get free donuts, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't even know where to go with that. Thank you, Babylon B, for leaving me flabbergasted. I had
all right.
Nowhere else to go. Okay, let's talk about monkeypox and what the rest of the world might be importing to America, shall we?
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and leaving your comments. Once again, what's up, Keith? What's up, Kenneth? Everybody whose name starts with a K, including Karens out there who are complaining. Keep complaining, please. Leave your comments. Appreciate you. Okay, Blake, do you agree or disagree that if you import the third world, you will become the third world?
Yeah, I think that's a great quote from Trump here, and that is also the thumbnail that we barely got off because Canva's having issues, but we got it. Thank you, Brian. Trump.
By the way, it was Canva was having issues, not Ken was having issues. I thought you were saying Ken was having issues. Like, well, what does Ken have to do with our thumbnail? We love Ken, but I don't think he makes our thumbnails.
Right? No. That'd be great if we could train him to make thumbnails. No, thumbnails.
Somebody left a comment on our last show saying Kenneth should be a part of the show. I'm like, he is a part of the show.
Yeah.
Like we reference Kenneth more than we reference each other, I think.
That could be. No, it provides great commentary and delightful wordplay. But yes, I do the thumbnails on Canva. Pretty much got it down to the science, but just having different connection issues with it. But we got it off for the most part. And yeah, here's the meme here: import the third world, become the third world. Your neighborhood under Trump and your neighborhood under Kamala.
Can you full screen
that? Sorry. What's that?
Can you full screen that or zoom in? It's a little tough to see.
I know. Let's try this one more time. Actually, I could probably pull it up here.
There's something where you like Command Plus and it'll zoom in.
There we go.
There we are.
It's as big as I can get it on here. All right. Well, I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, is the country better off with 11 to 20 million illegal immigrants from like different cultures? And yeah, if you brought in enough people from the third world, you will lose your culture and your identity and your laws. And we will no longer be the same country anymore, which I guess is probably part of the plan.
That's the Obama plan.
The Democratic regime.
Yeah, this is the Obama plan 100%. He's been up to this shit for 16 years. I mean, look at Minneapolis, Blake. Look at Minnesota. Like your place has changed radically in the past 20, 30 years, hasn't it? If people aren't aware, can you tell them what happened to Minneapolis and Minnesota?
Well, yeah, they imported a bunch of, all these Somalians, which was, they were refugees at the time. So it seemed like a nice humanitarian gesture to take them in and protect them from the shit show over there. But, they stayed. I don't know if it's their compatible cultures or not. I didn't live there a whole lot after this all went down. But I did get a job at the Mall of America in 2000. I went back for a year. I got tired of Vegas, tried to go back to Minnesota to have a normal life, and worked in the Mall of America briefly. And I remember being there during Ramadan, and we just got overrun with a lot of the Somalian people, and they were kind of telling us to make sure, not to leave stuff out, because I was in a bar, don't leave the ketchup bottles and, the salt shakers and stuff like that, because people would steal it. Not saying that they're just thieves or anything, but, it's just different culture, and it's changed. You can tell. I mean, I just went back to Minnesota just last month, and yeah, it's not what it used to be. I'm not going to say it's a whole lot worse, but I don't know if it's been a great experiment. So, and there's mixed reviews on that. And the Somalians, I'm sure they're nice enough people for the most part, and they have their own little area of little Mogadishu. I don't think things really got that bad, maybe until they started getting into the defund the police and St. George Floyd. But yeah, it's certainly changed. I don't think it's a great place to grow up, but I don't think I'd want to go back.
Well, this is about obviously all across America. It's not just about Minneapolis. Here's a quick story I found here.
Also new at noon, an illegal immigrant from Mexico is accused of raping a boy. This is who investigators arrested, 34-year-old Filiberto Gonzalez. The Hispanic man is accused of raping a 10-year-old boy twice. Investigators arrested him at his home on Laurel Lane on Monday afternoon. He's awaiting a bond hearing before a justice court judge.
Blake, how does bringing this
Also, new 10-year-old
to
boy.
America make America better?
It doesn't. The idea of the immigration system is to find good people that want to be here, like so they can escape the third world shitholes they're from. You know, we can embrace them and say, yes, we have these great immigrants and they're going to have nice jobs and have a better life for themselves. That's what this whole American experiment has been, bringing in people from all these different cultures. But it's not just, you know, third world people. It's one thing to have, you know, some refugees in these humanitarian crises sometimes, but at some point you'd think they'd have to go back. Or they assimilate, but some of them like to just stay in their own little cultural bubble, and that is bothersome when they refuse to even, you know, learn the language or, you know, embrace our culture.
That's why immigration is supposed to be, you learn the civics, you learn the history, you kind of commit to the ideals, you go through with it, you learn the language, you take the like you become a part of the place you're going. You don't just show up and it's like, now this is my place. No, it's not your place. By the way, you can go back to wherever you came from. Like if you're not really invited here, you don't belong here. This is our country. We were born here. You are a guest. You're a visitor. And yeah, it gets really strange. Look at the UK. They're trying to extradite people to get jailed over in Great Britain for things that you post against immigration. And that person, that illegal alien that raped that boy twice, he had no business being here. He did not come through legally. He was illegal, and he made our country way worse. You ruined that kid's life. That is worth keeping 1,000 people out if it means we have to filter out the toxic poison that you just brought to our country. You filter for the good people, the productive people, the successful people, the peaceful people, the people you want to be your neighbors. Not people from God knows where with God knows what ideology willing to do God knows what at your expense. No, thank you. Yeah, this is what we were talking about. This Englishman, Blake, tell us this story.
This guy's in jail now because he was sharing pictures warning that mass migration is coming to a town near you. Yeah, it's got to be terrifying being in the UK right now. So they're putting up the chill. These migrants can do whatever they want. And if the citizens do anything about it, even if they just put stuff on social media criticizing it, they're now threatening jail. And there are people that are going to jail. And now this UK police chief's got the audacity to threaten Americans. Like they're going to extradite us and they're going to put us in jail. So it's insanity. Yeah,
that is wild. France, England, Spain. But this is, once again, this is the 16-year Obama plan. This is what he's been up to. There's what did you call them? Not migrants. You said that they're refugees. That's the quick little buzzword. If you say something like that, it's like, no gitsies, can't get me. I said refugee. It's like, you're not a refugee. You're trying to scam a system here. I don't have to abide by that, but that's what Obama wants. He wants no borders. He wants the everything blended together, no cultural history, tear down the monuments, change the names of things. The founding of this country was bad, so we must destroy this place and rebuild it in our own Marxist, communist, whatever version of that they want to do. When you get into all those isms, most of them are pretty crappy. Marxism, communism, socialism, etc. Blake, I did find this. I just wanted to toss it on here. You did mention this. I said it, but then you called it out. So let's just play the clip here. They're going after Elon because Elon is bigger than life and he's not scared of you.
But at one point, Elon Musk said that he would work in a Trump White House.
You know, I have to disclose something. I am a huge fan of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And for full disclosure, my son works for him and loves his job at Tesla. And I think that guy is a modern-day Bruce Wayne. If he got involved with government, it would be a good thing for everybody in America. The guy's a no BS guy. He's very...
Hold on, Blake. Do you see the bottom picture here of O'Leary with the pink flip-flops and the shorts?
He always does that. That's like one of his trademarks when he's on the camera. And a lot of people, I think they actually do stuff like that because it just gets too hot in those studios. So they tend to wear like that. That's
cool.
normal for Kevin O'Leary. I've seen a lot of pictures, and
Okay.
I think maybe he's just doing that because that's just kind of his thing now.
All right, that's
Yeah,
fun.
I don't know about the pink sandals or whatever. Was he pink flip flops? That's
Yeah.
a little odd. I don't know.
Looks like he has a pink phone case too. Whatever, no judgment.
The
Oh,
guy's a
weird.
no BS
He's
guy. He's very
honored and
transparent, and he really knows what he's doing. He has executional skills. You may not like him. You may not like his communication styles, but look at what he's accomplished. If we could get more Elon Musk in the government, this country would not be in the situation it's in, divided so much.
There you go. It's hard to disagree with any of that. Modern day Bruce Wayne, huh? All right.
You feel better now because you wear pink flip flops. Now you and Kevin O'Leary. No,
Kevin
O'Leary does too. All right.
Yeah. Remember that commercial about the dad comes by and he's like, "What's this? What's this?" And kid's like, "Oh," he's like, "They're drugs. Where did you learn this? Where did you learn this?" And the dad's like, or the kid's like, "I learned it from watching you, okay?" And the dad's like, "Oh." Remember that commercial? So I learned pink flip-flops from watching him, except he learned it from watching me. No, I like it. I think it's funny, but I'm not familiar with his shtick. So anyway, back to this, Blake, third world. What are we supposed to do with this upcoming election and all of these ballots that have been automatically generated to be mailed out to God? They're not going to be mailed out. They're going to be stacked up and they're going to be funneled through and they're going to be brought back and dropped off at different locations. Are we just doomed? Has America been overthrown? Is there any chance that this can be too big to rig in favor of Trump? Because the new polling, if you're to believe any of it, Kamala's in the lead now. Oh, we love Kamala, says the polls that are not Rasmussen. Has America already been conquered? Are we a sinking ship, or do we have a chance to figure this out in a too big to rig Trump victory here? Do you think the Kamala polls are legitimate?
No, I don't care about the polls, but if somehow they win, I guess it's time for the national divorce. And then it's going to be just protect your states. You got to give up on the United States thing, and it's going to just find a good red state that you can live in and that policies and with people that you agree with, and everybody's on their own. And that's fine. If the Democrats and they have their blue states and their blue cities, they can do their own thing. We're going to have to redraw some districts. This is going to be a very changed America. And I don't think it'll last a whole lot too long, but I don't know. It also makes us susceptible. You know, the reason they had to unite the colonies back in the day was to prevent the states getting reabsorbed back into the British Empire. Yeah. So if we were all divided, who's to say other countries won't, meddle in? China or something like that, start buying up land in these places, and then we're just a whole new country. It sucks because it was the greatest one ever created. But we have to be prepared for those possibilities. It's unfortunate that we're just seems to be unable to reason with a lot of our friends and neighbors and people who've really just been poisoned by the propaganda and are going to go along with this insane leftist agenda. But they just might. It might be beyond reason. So
Kenneth is suggesting that maybe Ohio will be renamed Obama. Ohio to Obama. Yeah, I mean, it's about rewriting history. You have to get rid of what was old before you can replace it with your new commie crap. Fun fact, where I lived in Los Angeles and where Blake briefly stayed in Los Angeles, there was a road right around the corner called Rodeo. No, I'm sorry. It's called Rodeo in the hood. Rodeo is down in Beverly Hills a few miles away, but Rodeo Drive or Rodeo Drive was changed to Obama. Right as I was getting out of there, they changed it to Obama. It made you just want to every time you saw it. Like, you remember that? You were there for that.
I used to walk and drive on Obama Boulevard or whatever it was many times. Yep. It was right around the corner. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, Los Angeles is not too far away from being the third world, Blake. Do you have anything else to share on the third world component here as societies across the country are trying to grapple with just a onslaught of military-aged men who we're supposed to not believe are a covert fighting force ready to flip the switch and attack America at a moment's notice?
Yep. Get to a red state. I mean, well, let's see. If Kamala wins, and they're going to pull the same bullshit, and it's going to be obviously like there's some bullshit going on here, and we need to audit, but they won't let you audit, or they're going to have, like, Gretchen Whitmer is going to say it's illegal to do that. You're not allowed to. It's time to leave. Get the fuck out of Michigan. Get out of California. They're lost causes. You're going to be behind enemy lines. Let them just burn themselves out because they need us more than we need them, and it's over. And hopefully won't last too long.
All right, next topic.
All right.
Well, we're talking about burning things out, Blake. Kamala Harris, has she been burning herself out with all of her accomplishments? Do you agree or disagree that she deserves respect for all of those accomplishments?
I am going to disagree and say, what accomplishments?
You're a misogynist.
Yeah, well, it's not just me, though. And I'll pull up the proof here. This is so Charlie Kirk has posted this. It's a video. What is this from Frontline's Talking Point? What is this again? TPUSA? Is it Talking Points USA?
Turning Point.
Turning Point. Thank you. All right. Well, they did some man on the street here at this Kamala rally, and was in Phoenix, and they asked if the people could list some of Kamala's accomplishments. So let's see what the average Kamala supporter thinks.
Accomplishments.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see if we can get this volume.
Find out from the attendees what Kamala Harris's greatest accomplishment has been as VP.
I mean, honestly, I'm not too into politics. I'm just here for the vibe.
I'm here for the vibe.
Female vice president. So becoming the VP is the best accomplishment? Yeah, absolutely.
Being a good person.
Being a good person?
Yeah.
92% turnover rate with her staff, and she's a good person, right?
She's I don't know. She seems really good for women.
Oh, I bet if you were sitting at a fucking brunch or something with these two ladies, they would tell you up and down about how big of a racist, crazy asshole that Trump was. But then here they are, and they've nothing of substance going on when it comes to their own people.
Harris is there with the energy. She has a lot of enthusiasm, so it's important to get behind her. What is Kamala's top accomplishment, you think?
I can't say anything right now. Give me a second.
Her top contributions to policy or policy.
Pause it for a second. POTUS a black job? What does that even mean? The guy's shirt.
It's a black job for the new president, I guess. They just came up with this shit. So it was like, oh, he's going to rally here. Let's make some T-shirts. They're trying to think of something clever.
That is the opposite of clever. That is dumb. Okay.
He's probably the one selling them. But let's see what this guy said.
I wasn't in on the policy making decisions with President Biden, so I don't know.
Her favorite policies. Oh my gosh. See, I wish they would tell us more about that because I honestly don't know.
Oh my God.
All right, don't you want to sit down and get lectured by these two about how you're a bad person for liking Donald Trump?
Oh, I know she's done some good work with immigration, even though they say opposite.
What?
What do they say?
Well,
what?
Well, what is it? She's the border czar.
She's the fake border czar.
It's her fault that all these immigrants are coming over, to cross the border right now, which I don't think they are.
What?
They are. Why?
What is she
They
talking
should get
about?
your news from NPR or something. Oh my God.
What is she talking about? She's incorrect about everything.
Right, yeah. She lives in her bubble, and when she's asked a question, she's really struggles with the answer.
People have been saying that Kamala's a border czar, or whatever that means. Is there an issue at the border? Has Kamala done anything about it? Or was there not anything to do about it, and so they're just kind of making things up?
So I don't think there's an issue with the border at all.
Doesn't
issue with
think
the border
there's
at
an
all.
issue. Wow. because the old legacy media lies to these people, gaslights them, and they don't know what's going on. Yeah, for years they pretended like there wasn't a crisis until it just became overwhelming, and then they were forced to admit a little bit and then criticize the Republicans because they were supposed to come up with more money, and then they came up with this bipartisan bill, and then most of it went to Ukraine. It's such a fucking joke. But yeah, these people are just dangerously misinformed.
Yeah, I feel like, yes, illegal immigrants are coming to America, but that's what America's all about, is
not illegal immigrants.
To come to America and live that American dream, because America isn't just for the whites. It's not just for the blacks. It's not just for the Mexicans. No, it's for everyone around the world. We're
including Venezuelan gang members.
Supposed to be a country of...
Oh, thank God Bukele took over El Salvador. Could you imagine how many MS-13 gang members would be swarming over our border if they weren't in that max penitentiary? Salvador.
Letting people come in and do what they'd like. I mean, I understand.
Come in and do what they like.
They say the border crisis is causing all these drug issues and is causing crime, but
yeah.
In my opinion, there's crime everywhere. You can go to New York, you can go to Canada, you can go anywhere across the world, and there's going to be crime regardless.
Yeah, it's a total. They're blowing it way out of proportion, huh?
Oh, for sure.
Would you say there's a problem at the border at all?
So there is a problem at the border. I really would wish for her to go visit the border while she's here. I don't know what's on her schedule.
Yeah, I can guarantee that's not going to happen.
No.
I can't imagine her going down to the border to see how bad it is. The border czar. Now they're pretending like she's not the border czar. So anyway, this was disastrous, but it was also very amusing. So good job from Turning Point.
Well, let's remind ourselves about Kamala Harris as the candidate and the vice president.
A mother who pays a coyote.
A mother who pays a coyote. Ooh, that voice. Wow. Acting.
A mother who pays a coyote to transport her child through their country of origin, through the entire country of Mexico, facing unknown peril to come here.
Sounds like a terrible mother, by the way. Like, why would you ever leave your kid with those types of people?
Why would that mother do that? I will tell you.
Oh, there's a lot of reasons. And when you do when the mob does you a favor, you owe the gangs a favor back, and you are a part of their life forever. That's like a sleeper cell, if you will, a Trojan horse.
Because she has decided for that child to remain where they are is worse. But what does Donald Trump do? He says, go back to where you came from. That is not reflective of our America and our values, and it's got to end.
To be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border, do not come. Do not come.
I'm sure you've seen that mashup where then Trump says, I'm going to come.
And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back.
Yeah, chameleon. Kamala the chameleon, Blake. She literally says both sides of every issue, it seems like. The more that she talks, it's impossible to determine who she is because she is a chameleon. She's literally a chameleon.
Yeah, she's a big phony, and there's nothing to take seriously about her.
Speaking of stuff you can't take seriously about her, this is from CNN of all places. Let's remember this gem.
President Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision. Afghanistan.
Yes.
What a weird face. Like,
were you the last in Afghanistan?
Yes.
Smiling at
were you the last?
Because Afghanistan was a train wreck. Shit. Look at that face, Blake. That is
that's right.
Mentally ill clown face right there.
Yeah, her husband's in the CIA, and she's probably CIA. So yeah, they're liars and phonies there too.
And Afghanistan was, by every account, an abject failure.
Were you the last person in the room?
There's no way to spin that.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
She feels comfortable because she was the last one in the room who got to participate in the Afghanistan withdrawal. By the way, we shared out on X. I don't know if it's in the stack, but the parade, Blake, did you see the parade of Afghanis who are flaunting all of the stolen military equipment from when Biden or Obama left it there for her?
I did see a video clip of that. I mean, I don't know if it's 100%, but I mean, they left a shitload of equipment, so it went somewhere, and obviously in the wrong hands. Didn't go to like, innocent patriots protecting themselves against their authoritarian governments. No, it went to Taliban and got sold to the, who knows, mullahs, Hezbollah, Hamas. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I assure you it's going to be used in a lot of bad stuff coming up. That much is for sure. Speaking of bad stuff here, Gateway Pundit reporting that the nation's top hackers at DEF CON conference have once again easily breached the U.S. voting machines. Yet Republicans continue to ignore the crisis year after year. Blake, is there any reason we're still using voting machines?
Yeah, so people can rig the elections. I mean, there's no other reason for it. Any expose documentary is always, said what those could do. There's no reason for it. Or they're trying to save trees or whatever. Use recycled paper. I mean, no. They're clearly used for nefarious purposes.
Yes. Speaking of Kamala Harris is set to call for a federal ban on price gouging in a Friday speech, according to The Hill. Tim Pool says it's communism, like literally government price controls on consumer goods, Blake. She's literally a communist. This is something Americans are supposed to embrace?
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, it's insane that she's trying to do, going after grocery stores or whatever. But I mean, it's not just them. It's like every industry. So it's not just secluded. It'd just be one thing if it was just grocery stores. But I mean, gas stations, restaurants, any number of different things. Your insurance, your ticket prices at the movie theater. I mean, everything has gone up in prices. So don't tell me it's all just some big, corporate greed thing. It's bullshit. And you can't let them government come in and take over. Yeah, maybe they could give you some relief in the short term. Oh, they're our saviors. Look, they made everything and they got rid of the price gouging because they, did something. But then at some point, it's going to be the government is going to love making the money off of it. So if they take over, and then they're just going to be the ones that are corrupt, and then you're never going to be able to vote them out. So it's a slippery slope. It's terrifying. And there's a lot more to it than she's letting on. And you can't let her get involved in trying to protect people from price gouging.
Right.
No.
I think it makes a big difference if you had a boss in office. And this is President Trump talking about Kamala and the
Kamala Harris wants to be in charge of the entire U.S. economy, but neither she nor her running mate is the beauty, isn't he?
Beauty. Tampon Tim.
He signed a bill. He wants tampons in boys' bathrooms. I don't think so. Tampons. But they've never held a private sector job in their entire professional careers, and it's no wonder they're both socialists. They're actually beyond socialists. I think they skipped over socialists. That's why I think when people find out, because you don't know who these people are, I think when people find out who they are, I personally don't think they can do well in the election. They've destroyed this country. What they've done, when you look at San Francisco, what happened to, and she was the one that started it years ago. She was district attorney. Then she was the attorney general of the state of California. California is a disaster now. Now, Gavin Newsom hasn't helped very much, but it's a disaster. She was the one. This November, voters are going to give radical liberal Kamala Harris the opportunity to try something new. A real job in the private sector for the first time in her life.
So that's Trump calling it out like it is, letting Trump be Trump. I mean, he makes a lot of sense there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to the debate with whoever it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, where are we at? She's agreed to 1, and her good friend is the one that's moderating it. I thought there were supposed to be 3. I guess we're still trying to figure that out, what comes next. But you need to show more of Kamala. The more that people know who she is, the less people like them. So what was this one you had pulled up? Okay, let's transition away from that. And let's ask this. Oh, this is a great one. You have this queued up. This will be fantastic, everybody. By the way, everybody, please continue leaving your comments. Make sure you follow Blake on X. He's at TV's Blake Walley. Follow the New American Media on X at American_media_, and subscribe to our Rumble and YouTube channels, the New American Media. Please and thank you. Blake, agree or disagree here that CNN deserves respect for its commitment to objectivity?
Absolutely not. Maybe if this was like,
I can't even get through this one. I can't even.
Right.
Can't even pretend.
I mean, yeah, 15, 20 years ago, sure. Yeah, they just do headline news and it just like on a loop. Sometimes I would be in the bar sometimes. I remember I used to work like a graveyard shift, this little lobby bar back at New York. And I just have CNN headline news on. And that was fine because it wasn't biased. Nobody was going to be angry. It was just telling you what was going on in the world. And there wasn't like all this political opinion and spin on everything. And for years, that's what CNN was. And they did a great job at what they did. And then when they did have some of their people on there, they had good people, Larry King or Lou Dobbs. I'm trying to remember some of the names offhand. It's been a while, but now it's just it's opinion and it's laughable. And even, and everyone knows it, which was hysterical because you did have this great media clip from the other day with Stephen Colbert, his own audience laughing at him for trying to state that CNN is objective. So, and there is Caitlin Collins, criticize her. Wasn't sure if she was something off about there. Looks kind of cute in a dress there. I know I wasn't quite sure what. I didn't want to assume her gender. Not anything personal. She's not an interesting journalist. Whatever. I'll try to judge her on that. But
the commenters do often wonder if that's a man. Commenters do often wonder.
She doesn't have classically feminine features in her jaw and her neck, and that's okay. But hey, there she is in her little dress, and it's all good. I'll just assume she's a whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care what she is, honestly. I just
but on today's show, Anna Paulina Luna set us into like the Olympic, the hot or not ratings competition. So I guess that spills into media personalities too. Good grief. Media personalities. That would be, we should do that for March Madness. Do a top 64. I think we've talked about this before. I think we're perpetually two 16-year-old kids, two 16-year-old boys.
I guess.
There's no way around this. Your Toxically Masculine Tuesday show spills into this show. I don't know what to do with you. You're incorrigible, Blake. This is all you.
Right. It's all my bad influence. Right. It's all my idea.
All right, full screen this one and show us Caitlin Collins. That's her name.
Trump has kind of been thrown.
Yes, so let's get the full screen. Here's what happened in case you missed it.
Trump has kind of been thrown on his heels by this, and he's not really sure how to go after Vice President Harris. He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. No, I know. I see it.
Wow. Yeah, just instantly, instinctive reaction. There's like, does he believe this? Is this a joke?
Report the news as it is. No, I know. CNN makes it. I know.
Is that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but
yes, Caitlin and Stephen, we are all laughing at you because you pretend to be journalists. And
I guess it is.
You're not.
I guess it is.
They're still working off of CNN's legacy, but that is gone, and they're never getting it back.
And that is one of the most important things that President Trump has brought to the table, Blake. Just his ability to call out the fake news for being fake news. There is no unscrambling those eggs. Those eggs are scrambled. They're all mixed together. It's done. They are done. They are toast. There still are some old school people that unfortunately watch that crap and think it's giving you the who, what, where, when, why. It's not. It's just deep state garbage propaganda. And I wouldn't even mind deep state propaganda if the deep state actually cared about us and wanted our lives to be better. Then it'd be like, yeah, the deep state does what the deep state does. So what? The purchase power of our dollar is really strong. So a little goes a long way. And we're living a pretty decent life and relatively crime-free. And we're not engaged in foreign conflicts. We're balancing our checkbook. We're pumping tons of energy out. Like, we're crushing it with innovation, and we're accepting only the best of the best, the top 1% through immigration, the people that want to be here, people that accept our customs, people that learn our history, want to assimilate. And we're bringing in just the best of the best from every country across the globe, except the deep state's doing the exact opposite in every fucking category you could imagine. If there's something they could be doing right, they will always do it wrong. They hate you. They hate us. They hate this country. So, yeah, I mean, that is perhaps one of the biggest legacies of Donald Trump, was destroying the fake legacy media stranglehold on what we thought news was. Maybe the internet is more responsible for it, but I think the internet shaking hands with President Trump, those two things together created the complete destruction of the CNNs and the MSNBCs, Blake.
Yeah, and it's been refreshing to see the culture change on Twitter, and with that big space they have with Trump and Elon. We don't need the MSM anymore. So they are, as you say, they've failed us. They're done. And so now, yes, Twitter's gotten so much better, and now you got, but they've improved dramatically, and it's great to watch the old legacy media. Their heads explode because they can't control news and information anymore.
It is. She was talking about Kamala Harris there, and that Trump doesn't know how to attack her. Did we already cover this one? Would it ruin Kamala Harris to hold a lone press conference, Blake? A singular press conference?
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. It's interesting to see even CNN call her out on this, or call out the spokesperson. So it's from Jim Acosta, who said this. Would it you guys, we can't say the word, I don't want to incite anything. You guys have a press conference. Why is she dodging the press? And, Jim Acosta is kind of like the slightly less unhinged version of Keith Olbermann.
He's a court jester. I don't know. I don't look at him remotely seriously.
Oh, he's terrible. But interesting to see him ask this question here. Why aren't they having a press conference? We can now roll some of this clip here.
Would it kill you guys to have a press conference? Why hasn't she had a press conference?
Listen, the Vice President and Governor Walz have been busy crisscrossing this country since the launch of this campaign, and adding Governor
dodging the question.
Walz to the ticket. Saw the ways in which they went across the battleground states last week, generating rallies of thousands, 10,000 here, 15,000 there. But
Michael, a campaign rally is not a press conference. Do you mind if I cut in? I mean, a campaign rally is not a press conference. Why hasn't she had a press conference? She's the vice president. She can handle the questions. Why not do it?
We absolutely are going to do it. You hear her take questions as she's out on the stump, and she said last week, we're going to be having a sit-down interview here before the end of the month. What she's going to be focused on, and what this campaign is going to be focused on, is communicating directly with the voters that are actually going to decide the pathway to 270 electoral votes. That's why she,
Can you
Governor
commit
Walz,
to a press conference this week?
This past week. That's why we're doing a bus tour in Pennsylvania as we head into Chicago. And it's why we'll sit down for an interview before the end of the month to make sure that we can have a deep dive conversation about the vision that Kamala Harris has for where she wants to take this country, and the contrast that we're going to have with Donald Trump. We're going to have plenty of opportunities to do that throughout the rest of
but one interview by the end of the month.
This month and throughout the rest of the campaign.
I don't want to belabor this, but one interview before the end of the month. I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, can you commit to a press conference before the end of the month?
We will commit to directly engage with the voters that are actually going to decide this election, and that is going to be complete with rallies, with sit-down interviews.
Oh my God! All right.
So, the people who are going to decide this election, Blake. I think these are the people that are going to decide the election. Although, if you could cue that up to the very beginning of the interview, real quick, I did just want to make one point about the very beginning of that interview that you had. Do you still have it?
Would it kill you guys to have a press conference? Why hasn't she had a press conference?
Uncomfortable, awkward laughter. Right here. It's the Kamala signature.
Listen, the Vice President and Governor Walz.
Like, that is the cornerstone. That is the signature move of the Kamala campaign. laughter where it's inappropriate and you're supposed to just answer a fucking question.
Yeah, that would be nice, but you're not going to it's probably not going to happen. And you got to wonder how long he's going to last if they've got a 92% turnover ratio.
That's a fair point. But we're talking about the people that are going to determine the election. This might be who's going to determine the election.
Well, no, this is a recent action. It was just passed in December.
No, that is not correct. Non-citizens have not been eligible to vote in New York or, as far as I know, in any other state since the 19th century.
That's not true. The New York City Council voted in December to allow this. It begins January 9, 2023. Cities in Vermont and Maryland already allow this, and similar measures are under consideration in Illinois, Maine, and Massachusetts right now.
If the gentleman will yield?
Yes.
This is about turning migrants into voters, illegal aliens into ballots that can be counted for Kamala Harris and the dirty deep state.
That's not true, Brian. They're not going to vote for that because it's against the law.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm being a C theorist, a conspiracy theorist.
I believe those are
anti-immigrant, you're racist,
consideration, misogynist, a xenophobe.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm a phobophobe. I'm afraid of being afraid of
allowing votes in municipal elections only.
Right, but thank you. That's the point. Everybody wants to know at home, why would they allow this? Guys, they're allowing it because they're going to turn them into voters. They already are doing this in New York City, largest city in America, and this is the plan.
This is Speaker Johnson talking to Jerry Nadler.
Of our friends on this side.
May 22.
To turn all the illegals into voters. That's it, folks. That's what's going on. That's the game. That's why the border's open. That's why they've dropped it. Look, I respect Ms. Loughran and all her work in this arena. Yes, I'll yield, Mr. Chairman. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this.
As a New Yorker, I would love to think that New York is the entire country, but it is not. It is not. And consider.
Can you take that diaper off your face? I can't fucking hear you.
Consideration is being given to permitting non-citizens to vote in New York, and I believe
at the height of COVID, you can't. The Democrats are still cosplaying all of these do-nothing masks, and they're letting millions of people who are unchecked, unvetted, untested for COVID just waltz into the country. Give me a fucking break. It's all kabuki theater.
The capital city of Vermont, I forget which that is, but as much as I'd like to believe it, New York and Vermont are not the entire country.
But, Mr. Chairman, that's the whole point. This is what's going on, folks, at home. If you're trying to figure this out, if you're scratching your heads, you're seeing the video, you see droves of people, 2.4 million people coming over the border illegally, the president allowing, the Democrats in charge of Congress are allowing it. The deal is they're going to turn them into voters. You just heard it. They don't have any problem with that. They celebrate it. Here's the deal. We have a problem with it. The Constitution has a problem with it. American elections should be decided by American citizens. That's it. That's what this is about. That's why we're jumping up and down and screaming, my friends on the video who are commenting about this. That's why we're so upset, because our constituents are frightened that we are losing our country. We're losing our security. We're losing our sovereignty, because we're going to allow people from 160 different countries around the world to come in here and decide our elections. That's it. Here it is on record. You all heard.
You all heard it, Blake. But that's crazy conspiracy talk.
Right. Yeah, listen to the fat fuck in the mask.
Yeah, let's do that.
Good God.
Okay. I think we got two more in the stack here, making great time. Imagine that, Blake. Making killer time. All right.
Yeah.
Next one. Here we go. All right. So no, it would not K Kamala to hold a lone press conference. I do appreciate that they're giving them some grief, but really, you gotta get her to commit to 3 debates. I think she's only committed to 1, and that's all they're gonna do. If she even survives next week and gets the nomination, we'll see how that goes. Huge story here, Blake. Well, let me hold off on the huge story for a second, because this is kind of related. It's not about doing the truthful thing and reporting the accurate thing. It's more about getting things done. So do you agree or disagree that the truth gets in the way from just getting things done?
Well, I guess, yeah, I guess it could. I guess I would agree with that, but not that it should be done. But of course, this is frightening, because this is NPR, new CEO, And this seems to be it's terrifying. It's like the new modern day leftist ideology. Don't want to, get the truth getting in the way of getting things done. But let's listen to her in her own words.
I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things.
It's preventing us from getting a consensus and getting things done.
Creepy.
Facts, the truth. Doesn't matter as long as they win. That's more important than actually knowing the truth. Because if we were just trying to find the truth, then everybody would be, freaking out. Like, oh my God, all these people went to Epstein Island. What are they up to? And all of the other shenanigans and the lies that they've been caught in. They just tried to assassinate Trump. They lied about the Hunter laptop, and they lied about Trump colluding with the Russians. We should be, they should be. The caption I'm seeing here is Fauci. Maybe I don't know if there's a problem on the screen there.
I'll
yes,
take it off and put it back on. It says, "Does the truth get in the way from just getting things done?"
Oh, okay, but it's also they lied about the lab leak. They lied about masks working. Even though you saw idiot Nadler wearing one. Lied about social distancing. Lied about so many things. And that we should be concerned about the truth, not just getting things done. We should be concerned about the open border policy. We should be concerned about why are men and women's sports? Why are they putting kids on puberty blockers? What the hell happened to the Democrat Party? I'm in more of a pursuit of truth and knowledge, but some people have a different agenda. And so the truth is probably we should got to pull up an Orwell quote or two. I forget.
Yeah.
What is it about it's a problem for the people that are in power, but I don't know it verbatim. So
there's another quote that says telling the truth because in universal times of deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act.
Yeah, there you go. So they would frown upon that. Somebody like this NPR CEO. And they were responsible for burying the Hunter laptop story.
By the way, talking about Hunter, this is pulled up here. Roger Stone. It says Hunter Biden asked Obama administration for help securing foreign energy deal, even though he did not register himself as a foreign agent. Roger Stone says they indicted, convicted, and put Paul Manafort in solitary confinement for far less. When is Hunter Biden going to prison? Blake, it's just rules for thee, but not for me. It is everything to protect the dirty deep state Democrat traitors. And it's all to make fake shit up to go up against the libertarians, the Republicans, the conservatives.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can only imagine if it was the Don Jr. laptop story, it would be just wall-to-wall headlines everywhere, and he would be in a cell right now. You could say goodbye to any of the Trump re-election possibilities. So that would have been an October surprise. That would have tanked Trump. But now they're just, they pretend like it's not a real thing. And then, of course, they get 51 intelligence agents, including Dana Bash of CNN, her ex-husband. So, no, they've lied about so many things, you can't believe them anymore. And even, at least the people are starting to wake up to that. Like CNN is obviously not objective. But they need to see stuff like with NPR. Why is she up there? Oh, I guess she's another useful idiot that'll go along with the agenda. And gaslight people. So
a nice puppet for the regime. I did read a recent story about the founder of Telegram and how that all started. It was really interesting. But Kenneth says about Hunter created Do-A-Gram. Nice. Pretty nice. Well done. I appreciate that. But yeah, it is absolutely wacky that the truth is no longer a factor in our modern day world. It's like we're living inside of a cuckoo clock, Blake. It really does feel that way. All right. Anything else to add on this one? I got a super big story that we saved for the end here. Anything else to add for context?
Yeah, good.
Awesome. We are crushing it today.
Yeah.
Yes, I danced during the break. If you didn't know it, I danced during the break.
It's that old country western.
Yes, I do appreciate that. So this is something going on. Agree or disagree that Americans should be worried about the Social Security hack? This is something that you might have missed, but you shouldn't miss it, from Kyle Becker, saying hackers may have stolen, and the may have part is pretty much confirmed, as is my understanding, stolen the Social Security numbers of every American from the National Public Data, Bloomberg Law reported. That's about 2.9 billion Social Security records. According to a class action lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the hacking group USDOD claimed in April to have stolen personal records of 2.9 billion people from National Public Data, which offers personal information to employers, private investigators, staffing agencies, and others doing background checks, noted the LA Times. The group offered in a forum for hackers to sell the data, which included records from the United States, Canada, and the UK, for $3.5 million. Reminder, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, which allowed the purported breach of Social Security data, is also responsible for securing our elections, Blake.
Wow. That's a new twist on it. Yeah, I haven't seen that, because this is kind of a fresh story. So we're all gathering intel on that, or it's moving in real time. But yeah, I think people are going to start freaking out about this. So we can see a lot of people getting their identities stolen, and who knows what they're going to do with all of this data.
They're going to turn them into ballots, Blake. They're going to turn them into ballots. I actually have a story that I haven't had a chance to report, but fuck it, I'll report it right now. I still have to make some phone calls and dig in, but in Ohio and in Florida, at least. So at least, what's the 52? 4% of our states. Yeah, 2 out of our 50. That's 4%. 4% of our states, and by the way, Florida and Ohio are 2 of the most important electoral college states. The death records have been hacked, and the people working in the medical field processing the death certificates have been locked out of the death records, Blake. So in Florida and Ohio, you might be hearing this story for the first time ever, and I'm going to get it out while I can. So let it always live on the internet, and share this story and start digging in, making your own research, make your research known. Blake, if they can make dead people come alive and vote Democrat, that's been a Simpsons joke for a long time. Oh no, the dead are alive and they're voting Democrat, because that's what they always do. It's like, vote early, vote often. You know, that's like the calling card of the Democrat Party: vote early, vote often. And you know, the dead are back and they're voting Democrat. Something to really keep an eye on here. These security hacks we had, not Blackstone. What was the
BlackRock?
CrowdStrike. The CrowdStrike breaches. Now all the Social Security numbers. 2.9 billion people could be reactivated and given fake green cards to all of these 30 million illegals. And guess what? Now they're legal. And you could have some non-governmental organization, one of these NGOs, responsible for this, in conjunction with the Catholic Church, the Democrat Party, all the other usual suspects, for God knows what purpose. Blake, this could be a blowout for Democrats, and there's no America left.
Yeah, certainly could be, if they don't clean up these voter rolls and, you know, get all these loopholes and try to protect our elections, the integrity. So it's they could always use this stuff to their advantage, and if they think they're going to lose, they will. So I was trying to find this great meme, but one of my favorites, but it's hard to read, but it's with Bubba from Forrest Gump saying, "Forrest, if I die, please don't let me vote for Biden."
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah. There's other memes similar to that. Yeah, could you imagine? But I mean, yeah, they'll use everything they can to exploit it for their advantage, and that's including, you know, ballot harvesting, using the machines, early voting, mail drop boxes, not doing signatures, or as they do in Maricopa, you know, running these things without chain of custody to, you know, run back some facility. There's so many ways that they can cheat an election these days, and then they're trying to make it now illegal to audit that. And even though there's still ongoing problems, we can look at Georgia as one of them.
Arizona.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania changed their laws without passing a law. I mean, none of these should have been counted as they stood. They should have said, you know what, you got to go back. You get 1 day to do it. It's a revote this Tuesday. Everything's been so corrupted. I don't know where the poison is, and it's all been mixed together. Take it all out, start over. We're doing one. We're doing paper ballots only, same day. That's what should have happened 4 years ago. And now we're just sitting here wondering if are they going to get to steal another election and drive us right into the toilet?
Election day should be a holiday. Everybody has it off, or everybody has that opportunity to go. We can have fun, whatever, take a day off, federal day off, something like that.
Yeah, you could move a President's Day to overlap and say President's Day is now also voting day. What a great way to honor presidents. Or MLK Day is the voting day. We're just going to shift it from his birthday to the vote. Whatever. You could, yes, it could be done. I've also heard that, there should be a day off the day after the Super Bowl for National Hangover Day. You've heard that before.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Very low productivity in the office the day after the Super Bowl. Let's be honest.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is a good point that Kenneth is bringing up here. Blockchain and quantum system is coming. And they're also talking about a real ID and trying to phase out our Social Security and create some new trackable identification that, biometric based, I'm sure, or quantum computing blockchain based. Yeah. Maybe some of that would be good. If it's on the blockchain, you lock it in and then you can't mess with it.
As long as you can audit it all, yeah. Blockchain, NFTs, or something like that. Yeah, the NFT ballots.
But I've never understood the part of voting where the ballots aren't numbered and that they're not scanned in, and if you get a duplicate, you throw out the duplicate. Why are they not all numbered?
Or why aren't they watermarked or what have you?
Watermarked and numbered. Right. Special paper. It has like that lemon juice and you have to activate it or hold you like those little spy things, and you hold it up to the light, you can see the image, or under a black light, you can notice it or something. What is going on? Scott Adams says this all the time. It's like this system is designed to make sure that we don't know who actually voted for what.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrifying.
Right.
So what do? Give up? I can't go black pilled yet. But my God, I'm not.
You're in a red state. Yeah, you'll be all right. But yeah, it could be national divorce time. So I don't want to see go into civil war. We're just gonna have to divorce, reconcile our differences, and let the I think the blue states would just fizzle themselves out. So, and then they'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe we'll change things around.
There should be punitive. It should be punitive when you wreck a state. Unfortunately, when you have a Democrat in office, they money launder your money back to those blue states to keep doing the same stuff. And for the life of me, why an illegal alien is counted on the census so that you have more representation in Congress. I'm sorry, that's not a citizen. That doesn't count. That should never count. How did that ever count? Why hasn't that been challenged? Has the Supreme Court ruled on that? I don't know. For certain, it seems like it's completely unconstitutional. Because the blue states that lost all their people, California, Texas, California, New York, Illinois, Massachusetts, they fled. Normal people are like, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." And you know where they went? They went to Texas. They went to Louisville. They went to that's a city. They went to Kentucky. They went to Tennessee. They went to Ohio. They went to red places. They fled the bad and they went to the good. They went to middle America because the coasts were just absolutely batshit crazy. But now they're like, oh crap, we're not going to have as much representation in Congress. Hey, Biden, Harris, open up that border to pump 30 million illegal aliens in. We'll shuttle them into our city, and then we'll take federal dollars, and instead of giving them to help our veterans, our homeless, our mentally deranged, our drug addicted, let's just give them to these people that just snuck in the back door of our country. Then when the census is up, we're going to get to count them and have extra seats for representation. It's just the system as designed doesn't work. And I'm just wondering why. Why has that not been challenged? Has it been challenged and I'm unaware of it? Was there a court case that codified this? Can't it be overturned? Because as long as there's an incentive to do things this way, the Democrats are going to keep doing things that way. Except the people you're bringing in, they're not learning the language. They're not taking the civics test. They're not agreeing to become an American and abide by our Bill of Rights. They're just the topic of our show is if you import the third world, you become the third world. If you have people buy into your program and pass your course, at the completion of your course, you have competent people that are willing to step in and produce and provide for your community. That's the opposite of what Biden and Obama and Harris have been doing with the open southern border, Blake. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I think it's crazy. You think it's crazy, but unfortunately, try to get that point across to the average liberal, and they think you're crazy. So,
yeah, awesome, good times, crazyville. Blake, anything that went through the cracks that we missed today? Anything you else wanted to tell people about? Anything you're looking forward to this weekend? Final thoughts? Take it away, sir. Tell people where to find you. All of that.
Well, yeah, no, I don't have much else to add. I think this is good where we're at. 95 minutes, pretty good. Not bad, not bad. Small victory. I like it. All right.
And by the way, that included a ton of lightning round stuff that I think added a lot of texture to the show. There's a lot of extra stories because there's 50 things everyone's talking about. We focus and drill down on 5 or 6, but there was a lot of important stuff we got to just scrolling through the X feed. So I think it went pretty well today. I tried to go faster. I hope I held to that.
No, it was pretty efficient today. I can't complain. All right. Well, yeah, good job, Brian. And thanks, everybody, Kenneth and everyone, and anybody who's watching in the archives, the replays. Yes, thank you. My name is Blake Walley. You can follow me on TV's Blake Walley on Twitter X, and the archive is on The Next Level News.
Do you plan on doing any shows next week, Blake?
Well, Brian, we might be on the road next week. Huh? Another field trip.
Field trip.
Crazy, yeah, in Chicago.
I'll bring the snack packs. I'll bring the snack packs. You bring the high C. Bring the Ecto Cooler.
Good times. Yeah, no, looking forward. So we'll see what happens out there. Looking forward to that road trip coming up.
Live in location at the DNC. And I guess it's going to be a Hamas shit show over there. There's supposed to be upwards of 10,000 people protesting the Democrats.
I think I'd rather have that than, the Antifa. I wasn't really sure what to expect. It could get rowdy out there, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Palestinian protesters and not so much violent Antifa. But we shall see. We'll know soon.
Shall see. Absolutely. All right. Cool. Well then,
thank you, everybody. Yeah, gonna run.
We will talk later, sir.
Forward to doing next time from the road, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure, so things could be thrown around depending on the schedule and what we're exactly doing. So, but we'll do our best. We'll be providing content. Might not be live shows. We'll squeeze them in there, but it might be not on regular hours. So
that might be the best way to describe it. We're gonna knock something out. We'll try to probably be brief about it because we're gonna be exhausted from all the other stuff. But yeah, we'll knock out some shows, maybe daily shows, but maybe 30, 45-minute shows, keeping it real tight and moving while we edit videos. All right, Blake, you have a good weekend, sir. I will see you real soon.
Sounds
Safe
good.
travels.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brian. All right, peace.
There he goes, everyone. Blake Walley. If you would like to support him, he's on Cash App, $ Blake W99. On X, he's at TV's Blake Walley, and thenextlevelnews.com is his regular place where you can find more out about what he does. For the New American Media, of course, subscribe to our Rumble account. Download the Agree to Disagree podcast on Spotify. Follow the New American Media on Twitter at American_media_. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/at the New American Media. Search a private group on Facebook at TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show. What else? If you want to contribute to the New American Media, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/the New American Media. On Venmo at Brian Engelman, BrianEngelman. And for any of you who have donated, you know who you are. We really appreciate it because honestly, some of those funds that were directly placed into some of those accounts were then directly transferred to cover the trip to Chicago. Like this is what real on the ground grassroots journalism looks like. And, PBS funded by viewers like you. Really. I mean, it went from one account. It got dropped in there as a donation and as a thank you for putting out the content. And we appreciate every one of you that has been so gracious. And it just went to cover the Airbnb of where we're going to be anchored for a while, covering the Democratic National Convention. So thank you all. And we hope that more of you can join up and subscribe and follow us in all the places. Our Parler account, we got that back up, but now Parler's acting weird, but Parler's always been weird, so I won't tell you about that. Truth Social, we are The New American Media. Instagram, find our page and follow it, subscribe to it. The New American Media is our Instagram feed. If you need to follow us because we share a lot of stories in the morning and the afternoon at the top. We'll share a lot of, maybe 20, 30 stories. That's totally different from what we're going to share on X. So follow The New American Media in every place that you can. It really is more important than ever. Good you do, he says. Did I do that okay? Good you do. I'm assuming you do that like a Yoda. You do good. You do you, boo. You do you, boo. Good you do. Good you do. Now it sounds like I'm having a Biden stroke. But yes, Odyssey is our backup account for our YouTube channel. So odyssey.com/The New American Media. All the places, all the things. It's going to be interesting. No idea what to expect, but we're here for it. We're going to show up and we're going to give you the scene. I don't know what I really don't. I didn't initially plan on doing Chicago. But look, we've been to the Bronx. We've been to the Libertarian Convention in D.C. We were in Milwaukee for the RNC. Now we're going to Chicago for the DNC. We're here for it. We're trying to cover what's actually happening, because if they can Photoshop extra people next to an airplane, they can lie to you about anything. We won't. We don't give a shit about lying. We never have intentionally deceived you on a single topic. And when we're there showing you, it's just, here's our view. Here's our conversations. Here's what we saw. Take it for what it is. So stay tuned. It's going to be very interesting. And if you don't believe that we're going to go to Chicago to cover the Democrat convention, if you're somebody who finds that inconceivable, you keep using that word. I do not think that word means what you think it means. If you think it's inconceivable that we do that, inconceivable. That was better. My first one was a little lacking. Oh, it's very conceivable, buddy. It's very conceivable. Inconceivable. However we spell it. All right. So on behalf of Blake, Wally, Kenneth, Keith, and everybody else in the chat room leaving your comments, thank you so much. We will see you later. We appreciate you. We love you. And we'll talk to you again soon.